Cup is racing's biggest championship event.
From the Jarvis Bowl at Eastchester High School, this is a TV 35 sports special. The Eagles perched atop League 3B with a purpose.
Versus the very strong and powerful running game of the Eastchester Eagles. I'm especially interested in seeing the Stantini brothers. Any team that spends most of its time running like the Eastchester Eagles do, and as successful as they are, they must have some formula. So I'm looking very forward to seeing them today. Thank you.
Well, the referees are down at midfield with the captains, Anthony Codio, number 54 for the Eagles, and Mike Palmiato, number 31 for the Eagles as well. And the officials for today's game, Mike Davey from Croton is the referee. He has the white hat, and he'll be joined by Eric Anderson, the umpire. He's from Montrose. From Pleasantville, Jim Parkin. He's the head linesman. He'll be on the far side with the chains. And from Hopewell Junction, formerly of Peekskill, Sam DiGiovanni. He's the field judge, and he will run the clock. The captains are David Javer, 1977, in white, along with number 12, the quarterback Brian Geary. And the third member is number 50.
No, they don't.
Matthew Casey.
Hey, Patty, is that for us?
Well, it appears that Ardsley has won the toss. And you said you're nervous, Augie. Well, let's start that again. Ardsley has won the toss and will be kicking from right to left. So the Eagles will be receiving. Eastchester, as I mentioned, is 3-0 in League 3B. Ardsley is 0-2. Overall, Ardsley is 0-4. They've only put 16 points on the board, which, Augie, must be surprising with their running attack.
Well, not only that, Jerry, but their quarterback, I'm sorry, go ahead. Their starting quarterback, it's okay. Their starting quarterback has the most completions this season of anybody. That's 20 in a game against Pelham. So obviously they can pass the ball, and I'm sure Eastchester's ready for it.
Todd Montesano runs the Eagle offense, and he will pass 2 or 3, 4 times a game. And the purpose of the pass is just to loosen up the defense a little bit. But it's run, run, run. And we've seen Coach DiArco call for a fourth down run rather than give up the ball. He has confidence in that line, and they've just been blowing people off the ball. Eastchester obviously heavy favorite today.
It reminds me a bit of a throwback to the Green Bay Packers in the late 60s when you knew it was coming, but you couldn't stop it. And that's exactly what I see here. They've amassed probably 250, 260 yards a game, and that's pretty good considering the fact that you know the run is coming. So I'm looking forward to a good game today, Jerry.
To the 1992 as a whole team, Ardsley Panthers.
And we pick up Robert Handel on the PA.
Here we have the 1992 Eastchester Eagles.
Temperature about 57, 58 degrees. The sun keeps popping in and out of the clouds. Actually, as we started to go on the air, there were a few drops of rain. Did you notice that?
Jerry, I felt a couple, but hopefully it'll. I think God is a football fan, so I think he'll keep the weather in our favor. But let's hope so.
Okay, down the road, about 4 or 5 miles down the road in Bronxville. Big game today.
Absolutely. The Bronxville team is playing Tuckahoe, and they're both undefeated. In fact, all 3 teams in the town of Eastchester are undefeated, which I don't know how far that goes back, but maybe you guys have some history on that, Jerry, as far as, is that the first time in our history?
Eastchester High School Marching Band. And here's the Eagles' alma mater. We'll have to let our viewers help us on the history as to how far Eastchester, Tuckahoe, Bronxville have ever gone together being undefeated. And unless there's a tie down the road at Bronxville, either the Broncos or the Tigers will fall from the undefeated. Talking about history, in the Colonial Cup game last weekend at Pelham, when Eastchester ran up 42 points, Paul Votano and Len Inzio were trying to figure out what the largest score for the Eagles was, and so far we've gotten some information that against Pelham in 1982, the Eagles scored 55 points. They won 55-6, and that's courtesy of Mr. Z, who's with the chains across the way. And in fact, he tells me in that game, Eastchester was so overwhelming that every time Eastchester got the ball in the fourth quarter, they punted it away on first down. That's power. Okay, we are ready for the start on TV 35, Eastchester Government Access Television. Jerry Fishoff and Augie Lanzetta bringing it to you. Back to receive for the Eagles, number 31, Mike Palmiato, number 1 in the middle, Elton Lee, and number 6 is John Patone. Fusco kicking off for the Panthers, and we are about to start.
31, Palmiato, number 1, Lee, and number 6, Patone.
Relatively short kick. It's taken by number 37 for the Eagles, Chinkamani, who was one of the upmen. Returns about 10 yards, and the Eastchester Eagles take over in relatively good field position. They have the ball at their own, let's call it 47-yard line. For the Eagles, on the line will be Will Ackerson, number 38. He's split end. Tight end Bob Chinkamani, 37. Todd Montesano running the team out of the eye. Hands off to the second man back, Elton Lee. Elton Lee goes for about, let's call that about 6-7 yards. We'll see where it's marked. It's right at the 50-yard line, right on the 50-yard line. So the Eagles have the ball, second down, and let's call that about 3 or 4. On the line for the Eagles, the Santini brothers crew, Nick Dentato, the left guard, Bobby Hunt, the right guard, Anthony Isola, the left tackle, and John DiNardo at center. Running backs are Palmiato and Lee. They're split now with Bernardini in a slot. Bernardini goes in motion to the left, handoff in the opposite direction, and Lee gains maybe 3 yards. We'll have to see where his forward motion took him.
On that play, right tackle number 78, Greg Skolaski made a very nice block to spring Lee on the right side.
Yeah, I think very early in the game, Eastchester is establishing itself on the line, and you saw even that one where the Ardsley line was just moved back 3 or 4 yards.
Correct. Hence the name Santini Brothers, I guess. John came up with a very interesting name, and it fits.
Right, for those youngsters watching, the Santini Brothers, a very well-known moving company in the New York metropolitan area, and few raindrops as we have a measurement.
Actually, maybe somebody thought it might be a group on MTV, George.
Oh, look at that. The referee, Mike Davey, indicates 4.7 inches to go.
Not fourth, it's third.
On third. That's that fourth? Okay. 3rd down and inches. This is almost a free down for the Eagles.
Also, the last time I worked a game, it was raining, so I must be a jinx, Jerry.
Okay, Todd Montesano brings the Eagles up. Momentary hold. Referee Davey. The man in the line right there is the umpire, Eric Anderson, and now we're ready to go. I formation, hands to the first back. Palmiato makes the first down and then some. Palmiato goes for about 7 yards. So the Eagles are now down to the 40-yard line of Ardsley. So Eastchester doing right now what they've done so far this season.
If you notice the defensive configuration of Ardsley, they didn't line up very close to the line. They almost conceded that from the way they lined up. So I guess they have a lot of respect for that front line also.
Ardsley defense is a 5-2-4. We'll give you the players, and it's starting to rain a little bit. Play havoc with our papers here. Montesano fakes one way, hands off to Lee. Lee goes nowhere. Lee is buried by number 64. We're waiting to see Richard Popovich. Richard Popovich, one of the defensive tackles. The nose tackle, Angelo Morano. The other defensive tackle, Lamar Williams. The 2 defensive ends are Kassan Brown and James Burke, and that completes the front 5. We'll give you the rest of the lineup very shortly. Eastchester with 3 men back, hands off to Lee, gets nice blocking from the line and from Palmiato in front of him. Tackle on the play. We're waiting for Robert Handel to find number 82. Let's do it. We don't have it. Okay, it must be a ringer. But 3rd down and 5 for the Eagles. Elton Lee comes out. And Billy Vogt comes out. Over the ball, John DiNardo. Over him, Todd Montesano. Hands off to Palmiato. Palmiato looks for the hole, finds the hole. Palmiato breaks into the clear. He has 1 man to beat. He has blockers in front of him. And Palmiato brings it into the end zone, and the Eastchester Eagles score early and fast. 6-0 Eagles. Augie Lanzetta, wow.
I'm out of breath, but that I tell you the truth.
You didn't do the running.
I didn't do the running, but I'm still out of breath. It's exciting. No, actually, David Bernardini, number 89, threw a wonderful block on that play, and that allowed Palmiato to score. So congratulations to both Palmiato and Bernardini on a good play.
Okay, that went for 30 yards, and it capped a drive of 53 yards. And Doug Sarasi, who's 16 for 16 on extra points, holding Todd Montesano. And it's blocked!
First one.
And that's the first one he didn't make, so the PAT failed. I guess I jinxed him.
What's interesting is he has no field goals this year, and he's still 3rd in the county in scoring.
And the band strikes up with the score. Eastchester 6 and Ardsley nothing. Or Ardsley batting, about to go to bat the first, and in the bottom of the first.
Jerry, that I am a jinx. Let me hold this for you.
Today, Henry Lee on camera. We would like to thank Athletic Director Dom Ciceri and his staff at the high school here for providing the setup, and also the Eastchester Blue Devils for their table, which right now is coming in very handy with the plastic protector over our papers as it is starting to rain. So the Eastchester Eagles with a 6-0 lead. They'll be kicking off. Back for Ardsley is 25. Maldari kicking off for the Eagles, and I don't have a 25.
It's also number 37, Jerry. I don't know who that is. Number 37 for Ardsley. Is there a 37? Hamilton.
I don't see a 37 either. Darrell Hamilton is number 25, and he's their wide receiver. He's in the middle, and the rain is starting to come down now.
We're going to work through the raindrops or around them, Jerry, I think.
And we only hope that the rain at least holds off or doesn't get any worse and interfere with this telecast. We are connected by electricity.
If my eyes light up, Jerry, just let me know.
Jeff Maldari kicking off for the Eagles. Maldari's kick goes over to the side. It's bobbled by number 24. He comes the other way. And a good tackle by Eastchester's number 46, Joe Fiorello. And it was Stephen Fusco who ran the kick back. So the Panthers will take over, and the ball is on their 24-yard line.
I don't have any goal. That's Coach Fury. Coach Fury, yeah. Look, he had to go over there and off it over there.
Our viewers are going to have to forgive us if we're a little off on the stats because they're getting a little bit wet here. And they're running into each other.
Geary back to pass, and that looks like Bobby Hunt. And it is Bobby Hunt on the sack. Augie, as you pointed out, one of our problems is with the rain here. We can't make any notes.
So they have to forgive us if we're a little inaccurate today. That was an excellent play by Bobby Hunt.
Okay, Geary back, second down. About 18 to go. Handoff up the middle. And taken by, that was number 22, Chris Dickinson. He's the fullback. Here's how they line up. Jonah Blumstein is the center. The guards are Matthew Casey, who is the captain, and Jordan Goncharoff. Tackles are Douglas Kyle and Richard Popovich. The wide receivers are Lambos, Hamilton, and Fusco. And there they are, split with only one back. So an obvious passing formation. Let's see how Eastchester guards against it. Flag on the play. And the pass intended for number 80, Gregory Hine, was incomplete. In fact, John Patone, who was defending on it from his safety position, was closer to it than was the intended receiver. But let's see what the flag is on the play. Maybe an illegal formation. Looks like it's going against Ardsley, which will give us time to set the Eagles on defense. The Eagles on defense. Defensive tackle, Tony Casal on the right. Defensive end is John DiNardo. He's on the left. Anthony Isola, defensive tackle. Chinkamani, defensive end on the right side. We'll get back now. Fourth down, can't get the kick away, and it's almost blocked. Eastchester will have the ball in good field position. John Patone gets it. John Patone breaks away. Patone with it, and he's finally taken down. John Patone taken down by Douglas Kyle as Eastchester, with some excellent defense, almost got in there and blocked the kick. And it looked like it was number 46, Joe Fiorello. Fiorello doing a great job on special teams. So Eastchester has it again. Good field position once again, Augie.
I'm very impressed with the special teams. I was watching the Pelham game, and Anthony Spade is another one that does an excellent job on special teams. He's really got them trained very well, and that's a very important aspect of the game.
Montesano in motion. There's a flag on the play. The pass is incomplete, intended for number 38, Will Ackerson, the split end. And penalty goes against Blue. It'll be 5 yards. So let's see whether Ardsley will accept or decline. They take the penalty, so first down again, 15 yards. This will give me the opportunity to get the
back 5 yards to the first and 15.
to give you the rest of the. I'm not sure what I'm giving you. They're changing so fast. I was just giving you the Eastchester defense, and Eastchester's on offense already. So Lee comes out along with Sarasi, and in comes Patone and Palmiato. First down, 15 yards. Ray Flood and Mr. Z on the flags across the way. We're early in the first quarter. John Patone follows the blocking very nicely and picks up about 5 yards, so it looks like they'll be back to the original line of scrimmage with a second down. On our sister station, TV 36, Tuckahoe Educational Access Television, our friends Chris Rizzo and Stan Moore, Alan Meltzer, at Bronxville today doing undefeated Tuckahoe against undefeated Bronxville. Second down, looks like about 11. Palmiato is back. Montesano looking to pass. Montesano looking to pass. Fakes, decides to run instead, picks up some yardage, won't be enough for the first down. But Montesano scrambling for about 7 yards, and it will bring up, let's call it third and about 4 maybe.
That's what it looks like. Am I correct in assuming that the first pass that was completed was in the Pelham game, as far as the Eastchester team was concerned?
Yeah, according to Votano and Inzio, again, he'll pass 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 or 4 times a game, and just enough to loosen up the defense, move the linebackers back, and then start running again. So, according to form, Eastchester would be running now. Split back, Bernardini in motion, offside.
Yep.
Eagles illegal procedure, apparently. So Eastchester, 2 penalties in this mini drive.
It's unanimous.
They lead 6-0, 4 minutes and 27 seconds unofficially left in the first quarter. Will Ackerson coming into the game for the Eagles. He's number 38, and he replaces 93, Billy Vogt. The penalty pushes them back 5 yards, 3rd and 9, repeat the down. And a timeout is taken by the Eagles. Well, next week we will be here, except leave the rain home, Augie, and Eastchester will host Pleasantville. Pleasantville, always a tough team. They're 2-1 in the League 3B standings, 4-1 overall, and Coach Dick Rote right down below us doing his scouting. Pleasantville has already beaten Ardsley this season. On November 8th, we'll have cheerleading. Laura Licio and I will be there. We'll be inside for that one. And this is the kickoff competition, the 6th annual Eastchester kickoff cheerleading competition. Eastchester girls act as hosts, and we usually have teams from northern New Jersey, Connecticut, upstate New York, Long Island, and as close as Tuckahoe. Tuckahoe's usually there, and Tuckahoe usually wins something. We'll cap off the season, we'll cap off the regular season here at Eastchester, Tuckahoe versus Eastchester. Eagles back. Montesano going back. He has Bernardini all alone. Bernardini has it, makes the completion. He's still on his feet. He's still on his feet. The whistle has blown to stop his forward motion. Okay, tempers flaring. The whistle blew apparently relatively early, and then the flag started flying. We'll have to see what happens and sort it out. Looks like the rain has subsided somewhat. It's certainly the amount of rain will not affect what's happening on the field. Personal foul. A trip? A clip?
His initial
signal, Jerry, was against Eastchester, but I don't know. Let's check it. Maybe it's offsetting penalties.
Okay, Henry Lee on camera. Our technical crew today consists of Henry Lee and John Nowak, who's somewhere around. We haven't seen him, though. No, we love you, John. Okay. Referee Mike Davey is talking to the captain, Matt Casey. We'll sort this out. I hear 15 yards. Clipping against Eastchester. Maybe there was only one penalty and 2 referees saw it.
There were flags all over the place, so I would assume, yeah, more than one did.
Okay, then they were, after marking the 10 yards during the action on the clip, they now move 15 yards against Ardsley, giving Eastchester a first down. So now Eastchester, on 6 plays, have committed 3 fouls, yet they have a first down deep in Ardsley territory. You figure out this game.
I can't, to tell you the truth, Jerry, I can't. But the bottom line is they do have a first down, and they're very down very far in Ardsley territory. So hopefully they'll go in to score.
Todd Montesano over the ball. Wing to the right. Piccinini gets through the line and gets in beyond the 10-yard line, it looks like. Or just at the 10. They mark. Lamar Williams, number 58, stopping Piccinini. Piccinini, real exciting last week. A touchdown run and then a run on a return, long run, right before the end of the game. Palmiato and Lee split. Montesano hands off to Lee. Lee follows his blockers very well, and Lee comes the other way and has Montesano in front of him, runs by the blocker, doesn't matter, and brings it into the end zone. Elton Lee on an 11-yard scamper. Eastchester leads 12-0.
So many times, I still don't. Down. One thing was it.
Yard run for Elton Lee. Eastchester leads 12-0. Montesano holding. Sarasi up and good. So Sarasi starts a new streak after missing one following a season-beginning streak of 16 straight. So Doug Sarasi makes it 13-0. Eastchester is rated second, and they are behind Pearl River, so somebody's going to have to knock off Pearl River in order for Eastchester to move to the #1 ranking. And I think Pearl River today plays against Byram Hills. We had all that information out in front of us, didn't we, before...
Pearl River plays Byram Hills. Pearl River is 4-0, and Byram Hills is 1-3. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily give them a fight, but we'll see. I don't know much about Byram Hills. Do you, Jerry?
Byram Hills is always strong. They have good coaching under Bruce Caputo, and Eastchester beat Byram Hills this year, first time in a while. Maldari's kickoff returned by Quincy McQuaid, number 16, and somewhat of a weak return, and Ardsley takes over at their own 33-yard line.
I hate to be repetitious, but number 46, Joey Fiorello, was in on that tackle again, so he's doing a great job on special teams.
As long as he keeps doing it, we keep mentioning Joe Fiorello, the sophomore, 5'8", 140-pounder. Geary goes back to pass. Off the fingertips of the wide receiver, that's number 36. And I'm not sure I have a number 36 wide receiver. Yes, I do. Cormac McGlynn, who's the tight end. That's why I couldn't find him. I was looking under wide receivers, W for wide. Eastchester on defense. The linebackers are Bobby Hunt and Anthony Codio on the inside, Mauro Piccinini and Greg Skolaski on the outside. I'm sorry, Greg Spana. Geary back to throw on second down, way over the head of the intended receiver, Stratios Lambos. Lambos, a junior, and out there, John Patone defending, along with number 42, Doug Sarasi.
I don't think that the quarterback for Ardsley is getting any amount of time that he got in a Pelham game to complete 20 passes. He's had a lot of people on top of him so far, so we'll see what the, if the rush continues.
One man back, holds the ball up, delayed handoff to number 22, Chris Dickinson, who is tripped up. Looks like Piccinini came up from the linebacker slot. Doug Sarasi is the free safety. The often mentioned John Patone, one of the defensive backs, Dave Bernardini, another defensive back for the Eagles. And they come out, they normally have a 4-4 formation, 4-4-3 formation. Here's the punt on fourth down. Good punt, sending Lee all the way back to his own 23-yard line. Elton Lee looking for a crease. He ran one back last week for a touchdown, but he's not going to do it this time. But he does bring it back to the 40-yard line, so it's a 17-yard return for Elton Lee. And the Eagles go back on offense in the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. Eastchester leading 13-0.
Yesterday, Jerry, I had an opportunity to talk to Coach DiArco, and I asked him a question. I said, what is the difference this year from last year as far as your team and how they're performing? And one of the things he said is obviously maturity. He said that the line is more mature, they played together a longer time, and also he's had a hands-on as far as the offensive and defensive line is concerned.
Montesano back to pass again. Montesano up the middle. He has a man, and it's Mike Palmiato coming out of the backfield. They flooded the zone somewhat because also there was Billy Vogt, 93, the split end. 22 yards and a first down for the Eagles. Ian Crowley, number 48, comes in along with Mauro Piccinini and Will Ackerson. Also coming out, Cincamani and Palmiato.
We're going to give you an A for pronouncing Italian names, Jerry. You do a really good job.
I got some lessons from Forte. Handoff now to Piccinini. Piccinini finds daylight. Piccinini showing flash again. He was outstanding in the Pelham game, and he runs for a first down.
One of the problems for Ardsley today is no matter who Coach DiArco puts in the backfield to run, they seem to get the job done.
And Palmiato comes in. Elton Lee goes out. Dave Bernardini out. And number 35, Mauro Piccinini, out. Pro set. Fake to Palmiato. Montesano, the lefty, goes back, looks, finds the seam, and hits number 42, Doug Sarasi. Eastchester first down. Wow.
There's a flag on the play, Jerry. I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but it looks like a flag. I don't know who it's against, but there's a flag. Looks like Eastchester.
Yeah, and the referee was standing right by Doug Sarasi. And when right by Todd Montesano. And Montesano just did a beautiful job finding that seam. And Montesano was really disappointed. Montesano likes to pass. So, of course, any quarterback, when you pass and make a completion, make a nice completion, boy, you hate to have that taken away.
It's going to cost him 15. Is it 10 or 15, Jerry, in high school?
10.
15?
Oh, it is 15. I was wrong before.
I thought it was 10.
Okay. So now the Eagles have it
You guys see Coach Theory.
back.
It's going to be
let's get this straightened out. They're back to the 45-yard line, and they have to go to the 12. So they have a way to go, about 23 yards. Handoff to Lee. He still has it. Gets some blocks. And from the back, a great tackle by number 36, Cormac McGlynn, and a beautiful run by Lee. Lee is able to hesitate enough on almost every play to look for the opening. And when you think he's going left, he seems to be going right, but another flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be against Eastchester, and they're going to lose another 15 yards.
I hate to say it, but this constitutes Ardsley's best drive.
That's right. Eastchester going backwards. I wonder what the Ardsley coach is saying to himself based upon looking at all the game films from Eastchester and all the running. I'm sure he's saying to himself, this is not the same team I scouted.
Dominic Ianello, an assistant with Rich Palladino over at Scarsdale for 7 years. And that is the end of the first quarter, as Eastchester is, no, it's not the end, whoop, a little premature, 12 seconds. And Eastchester is now back in Ardsley territory. First down, it's still first down. This is a really strange one, Augie.
We say first down and long.
Montesano, flare pass out to Bernardini, comes over to the other side, has a screen in front of him, but his knee touches the ground.
You have to go down and see Coach Syria.
Hunt, Dentato, Skolaski, and Crowley all were out on that screen pass.
He could have gone for about 20 yards on that if his knee didn't hit the ground. It's a shame.
And that will be the end of the first half. The referees are Mike Davey, who's the referee, the umpire.
Someone's complaining over there in Interlake in first quarter.
Oh, the end of the first quarter. I was rushing things. Well, it's starting to rain again, so I apologize for that. It is the end of the first quarter. Eastchester has a 13-0 lead. The officials turn the ball around. Eric Anderson's the umpire, the head linesman. He's on the far side with the chains, Jim Parkin, and the field judge is Sam D. Giovanni. He's on the near side, and he will have the chains. Now, the chains are being moved way, way, way down. And it will be second down and fifth. Let's see. We got to do some calculating now. It's 50 plus 9 less 12. So 59 less 12. You got it, folks. Second and 47. Second and 47 for the Eagles.
47.
What kind of play? What's their second and 47 play, Augie?
It's got to be a draw play, Jerry. Come on.
Okay. Well, it's also interesting because there seems to be room in the middle of the line. Ardsley is playing for the pass, hands it off to the second man through. Piccinini can't do it. And nice tackle by number 73 on the line, Jonah Bloomstein. He's the linebacker. He's the center on offense, but he's one of the two linebackers. Ardsley in a 5-2-4 defense. Michael Tina is the other linebacker. He's number 53. It's third and long for the Eagles. About 44 to go. Montesano back. Throws the long one. Has Bernardini out there, and he completes it. And we'll have to see where they spot it. It might be a first down.
And no flags, Jerry. Would I be safe to assume that's the longest pass completion of the year for Eastchester? Let's get our stats.
Well,
Also, ramp to Woodhaven Boulevard has been shut down, so take the service road to Queens Boulevard. In Manhattan, Amsterdam.
well, let's see.
From 86 to 96th Street for the Mitchell-Lama Street.
Well, you heard it. 4th and 2.
Over Newton Creek is once again.
Robert Handel on the PA. And, of course, Eastchester will go for it, although Sarasi can pop it in from this distance easy.
The Lincoln Tunnel's got
Faith in that line, but Montesano goes to pass out to Elton Lee.
Monday morning.
Doesn't do it, and Ardsley takes over on downs. I was surprised to see a pass.
Yeah, I'm surprised also. You figured they would go to their strength, and obviously their strength is a running game.
Ardsley will take over at their own 15-yard line.
Ardsley has the ball. We're just into the second quarter. The Eagles have a 13-0 lead. Eagles in blue, and the Ardsley Panthers in white going from left to right. Mike Palmiato scored on a 30-yard run to cap an Eagle 53-yard drive early in the first quarter. Elton Lee ran it in from 10 yards. Sarasi converted on the second one, 13-0 Eagles. Geary keeps and goes, for maybe 1 or 2 yards. So looks like the Panthers are trying to mix it up a little bit.
Second and 8 for
When I was talking to Coach Dick Rote of Pleasantville here scouting earlier, I asked him how his star Otis Hill, who is also a great football player, 6'8" nose guard, how about that, how he's doing. He says he may come to visit next week. I said, well, he can visit, but he can't play. Here's Geary's pass into the middle, intended for 25, Darrell Hamilton, the wide receiver. Good defense by the Eagles. He got popped. I'm not sure who that. Yeah, by Bernardini, number 89.
And again, the pass rush for Eastchester was excellent. There were 3 players in on the quarterback, and he had to rush his pass. It was still a good pass, though.
Geary goes back on third down. Handoff. It will be short and will bring up a punting situation. The carrier was Chris Dickinson. Eastchester's line holding real tight and doing real well. Some nice work in there by Tony Casal, the junior, and he's number 62. Well, here come the Eastchester special team is in there now. Lanzalata, Ian Crowley on the line, amongst others. Jeff Maldari in there. Kick comes sailing, but goes out of bounds. And John Petone watches the kick by Cormac McGlynn go out of bounds, and Eastchester will take over.
The ball's going over that punter's head.
With about 9 minutes. McGlynn has a pretty good foot. This time he couldn't control it. But that last punt of McGlynn's, which went sailing way over Elton Lee's head, that was something else. Talking about punting, we'll get a chance to see Sam Cuccinell of Pleasantville. Lee slips a tackle. Lee cuts back, but he will only gain about a yard. It will be second down. Well, let's see where they spot it. Gain of maybe 2, and there's a player down on the field, Angelo Morano, the nose tackle.
Lee's carry picks up about 3 on the play, bring up second and about 7.
I'll make the board agree with you. That's about 3 yards. According to that thing, anyway. Well, he doesn't have it right. Now the ball is back a little bit behind him. He has it right at the line.
I think I remember that Cuccinell of Pleasantville is related to John DiArco. I think he told me once. And Cuccinell, an excellent field goal kicker as well. But Eastchester has to get by Ardsley. Elton Lee following some excellent blocking. give credit to Will Ackerson. He got out in front of him, and the tackle on the play was made by Frank Pecora. And the first down for Eastchester. So Eastchester now back to moving pretty much at will. They were plagued in that last drive by some penalties, which took away from the fluidity of the play. And the ball is now on the 33-yard line of Ardsley. Todd Montesano over the ball, pitches out to Palmiato. Palmiato running wide, and Palmiato is taken down on the play by number 50, amongst others, whom I can't find. Yes, the captain, Matthew Casey.
For the most part, we've been praising Elton Lee for his running ability, but on that play, actually away from the play, he put a block on number 58, and number 58 must outweigh him by 60 pounds, and he did a great job. He's a good all-around football player.
Billy Vogt comes back into the lineup for the Eagles, replacing Will Ackerson. Second down and about 7 for the Eagles. Montesano hands off to Lee, gets tripped up, and maybe he gains a yard. It will be third down for the Eagles, and about 5 or 6. Next week, Augie and I will be here to bring you the Eagles versus Pleasantville. And that could be a battle for first place in the league, because Pleasantville has only lost once. And now we start thinking about bowl bids. 3-man backfield, Elton Lee. The fullback goes for the first down. Oh, some absolutely great blocking on that one.
He is, by the way, he is deceptively quick, and he's also very strong for his size. I read in the paper that he spent some time during the summer building up his upper body, and you can certainly tell based upon the fact of how powerful he's running.
Tight end Bob Chincamani out there leading the blocking. Over the ball, John DiNardo, Montesano backing signals. Lee carrying, cuts through. Again, some good blocking. Eastchester just moving Ardsley right off the ball. And that looks like another first down for the Eagles. They're inside the 10, and it is first and goal to go. The Eagles already lead 13-0. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left in the second quarter. You're watching TV 35, Eastchester Government Access Television. The Eastchester cheerleaders down below us, and they have a lot to cheer about. Eastchester from the tee. Elton Lee runs right through. Now, Augie, Augie Lanzetta next to me is trying to figure out, is it the line, and could you and I run through that, or is it Elton Lee?
I think it's a combination of the two, but excellent blocking and excellent running. It's a great combination. I was saying before, Jerry, that Coach DiArco, I asked him what the difference between last year and this year was, and he said basically it's the maturity of the line. They've been together for a while, they play together, and they're very close. They're friends, so it works out very well.
You saw it and you heard it. Sarasi makes the extra point, and the Eagles lead 20-0. And as we come upfield, the Eastchester band strikes up "On Wisconsin." We'll let you listen. There's a good picture of the cheerleaders. we look over, we see that half the Pleasantville team is down there scouting. Jeff Maldari about to kick off with the Eagles. The undefeated Eagles, the league-leading Eagles, the number 2 rated Eagles, leading 20-0. Maldari's kick, the low-line drive, comes over to the near side, is picked up and then dropped. Good night.
Oh, I just want to see him get up, that's all.
Michael Tina. He's up. Tina is only a sophomore. So the Eagles go on defense. Couple of public service announcements. The new volleyball courts, one of the best held secrets, but sponsored by the Recreation Department. There are new volleyball courts over at the Leewood Tennis Complex, right behind the paddle tennis courts. DiNardo jumps offside. So the volleyball courts on the grass. Nicely marked up near the fence. We notice that a lot of people are playing volleyball in and around. Of course, the Tuckahoe girls team undefeated, their streak approaching 60 straight league games. Somewhat incredible. Of course, the Eastchester Eagles girls team has won numerous league and section championships over the years. Okay, Geary back to pass. Beautiful reception by number 16, Quincy McQuaid. I was about to say incomplete.
Well, he completed that pass with Anthony Iasola all over his leg, so he did a pretty good job. And almost every pass play, somebody from the Eagle line has been in on this quarterback. He seems very cool and calculated. He's doing a good job.
Anthony Iasola, the defensive tackle. Casal, the other defensive tackle. DiNardo at left end, and Chinkamani at right end. Eastchester, 4 down lineman. Brian Geary rolls out, has a man, same man, but McQuaid is not able to hold on to it this time. Well, I would guess from here on out, Ardsley is going to do nothing but pass for the most part. Nothing to lose. They need to get back on the board. They show that they can pass and at least complete half of them.
As long as the quarterback continues to roll out, because if he goes straight back, they seem to be right in his face. So I'm sure he's going to have to spend a lot of time rolling out, but we'll see what happens.
It's a 3rd down and short yardage. And the 4-minute warning. 4 minutes left in the half. This calls for a timeout. And another public service message. We remind you, those of you who are old enough, to vote on November 3rd. And there's a new regulation for bagging leaves. Plastic bags are no longer allowed. One must use the 40-gallon biodegradable paper bags because the plastic bags don't biodegrade in the compost pile. Brian Geary back to pass. Geary looking for somebody. Geary throws, and it is complete. Let's see where they mark it. Darrell Hamilton makes the catch. Chinkamani makes the tackle. And this depends on the spot time out for a measurement. Looks like a spot in favor of Ardsley. And are they going to bring the chains? Do they really have to?
I'm looking, but I can't. The eyes aren't what they used to be, Jerry. I think they are.
Well, I think Mr. Z needed a little exercise, so he waved and said, let me come out. I want to get on TV. Do we have Mr. Z on TV there? There, Mr. Z. Mr. Z saying, take it slow. Give me some exposure. First down. Is that their first down?
I think, no, second?
Second.
The second one.
Second.
Our statistician and cameraman indicates that it's a second first down. But they haven't had too many, Jerry. That's the whole point, I guess.
Yeah, Ardsley has only scored 16 points this season in their 4 games. Eastchester has racked up 112 points, which is, of course, an average of 29 a game. Geary back. Goes up the middle. Nice one to number 36, right over the middle in a look-in pass. And we haven't figured out who's wearing number 36. Cormac McGlynn. How do I keep missing him?
Probably going to be the only way they gain any yardage today. That 2-step drop and just a quick pass over the middle. It's negating the rush a little bit.
Single back, receiver split, both sides, fakes, way up the middle. Intended for Stephen Fusco, covered nicely by John Patone and by Doug Sarasi. Well, I think you're right, Augie. In that particular case, throwing to one receiver and going deep when Eastchester is more or less giving them the short passes is not going to work. So it's a second down. 3 minutes to go in the game. 3 minutes and 1 second to go. And Augie, I'm going to put you on the spot, even though the fans won't be seeing it till the end of the World Series. And as we stay now, Atlanta is down 1 game to Toronto. Who's going to win? I'll let you think about it and give us your fearless prediction after the play as Brian Geary goes back. Geary to the side. Nice defense by number 65 of the Eagles, Greg Spana. The intended receiver was Stradios Lambos. It's a rather gray, overcast day. We started in bright sunshine with a little rain. The rain has stopped, thank goodness. 2 minutes, 43 seconds left, 3rd and 10. Brian Geary has a man 1 back deep. Ends are split. Hands off to that 1 back. And it's close to a first down by Chris Dickinson, the fullback. Depends on the spot this time. It's down, and it looks like a first down at the Eastchester 35-yard line. So Ardsley is on the move now.
That was another good way to negate the rush, that delayed handoff, and basically what happens, he gained I think that's the biggest gain on the ground they've had today.
Eastchester band with plenty to cheer about. Geary barking signals. Looked up the middle, had his man, number 87, Stradios Lambos.
I don't necessarily think, Jerry, he wanted the 2 receivers right on top of each other because they were. I don't even know who the intended receiver was.
Second down, 10 yards to go from the 34-yard line of the Eagles. The Ardsley Panthers are looking to get on the scoreboard before the end of the first half, which would give them a fighting chance to come back. Brian Geary, the quarterback. Tremendous rush. It looked like by Codio, a fumble. The whistle blew it down. The whistle blew it down. Number 54 in there. Anthony Codio. Codio, the senior, 5'11", 185 pounds, came in from the linebacker slot. Big loss. About 11-yard loss, making it 21 yards to go. And as soon as I said the rain stopped, guess what? It's raining again. Geary going back. He has Frank Pecora to the right, but he goes to the left instead. And that is Cormac McGlynn, the receiver. And play goes for about 9 yards. It was a nice run once McGlynn got it. He got it in the backfield.
That was a good call because he's trying to get out of the fierce rush from Anthony Iasola. Iasola's been in almost every down, and he's just trying to get away from him, so going to the opposite side made sense.
And now time is a factor, 30 seconds left. Geary, looking. Fierce rush by Eastchester. Geary throws it into the middle. Cormac McGlynn was there. Incomplete. The clock stops with 24 seconds left.
There's a flag on the play, Jerry. I think it might be unsportsmanlike conduct or something with that regard. I don't know. I know it's against Ardsley.
How was it first down? I must have missed something because the clock is showing first down.
That was 4.
Oh, it's first down. First down for the Eagles. They went for it on 4th down. Okay. Well, I'm glad to have all you people helping me out here. I had too many things to look at. And the penalty assessed after the play. I think Eastchester will just sit on it, but maybe they'll try to throw it all the way downfield. Nothing to lose. Let's see what happens.
I'd be interested to see the stats at halftime to see how many passes have attempted and completed by Eastchester.
20 seconds. Clock is almost right.
20 seconds left in the first half. It's a gloomy afternoon weather-wise, but a bright afternoon for the Eagle machine. They lead 20-0.
And Eastchester will take over first and 10. Ardsley's 47-yard line. 20 seconds.
Hand off to Lee. Lee cracks through. Lee goes out into the open. Ooh, goes out into the open. There's still enough time. Eastchester's calling timeout.
Down to Ardsley.
I'm up here coaching for Coach DiArco. I'm making the timeout sign up here.
First and 10, Eastchester.
The clock continues to run. The clock stopped to set the sticks. 4 seconds. They may not get anything off. He does. Montesano hands it off to Piccinini into the line, and that will end the first half with the score. The Eagles 20, the Panthers of Ardsley nothing. TV 35, Eastchester Government Access Television, Jerry Fishoff and Augie Lanzetta. We will be back shortly.
20-0, right? Speed we have on our...
We are back. The start of the second half, and it's a wet one. The rain is coming down now. Jerry Fishoff here with Augie Lanzetta on the voice. Our technical crew, Alvar Lee, and Don Sarasi, our technical assistant here on the camera. And we're all trying to keep dry. And our papers are getting soaked. But we'll try to bring you all the action. Eastchester leads 20-0. We're ready for the start of the second half. Augie?
It's good to be back, Jerry. The only thing is I'm a little bit soaked, but I'm sure we'll get through it. They don't call these games, do they?
Well, yes, they'll call it in about another hour.
Oh, okay. I'm ready then.
Eastchester, captains Palmiato and Codio out at midfield along with Brian Geary, Matt Casey, and we can't make out the third Panther, talking to the referee, Mike Davey. And that is number 77, David Javer. Captains shake hands. Eastchester will be kicking off. and the Eagles will be going from right to left. Summary of the first half. Mike Palmiato, 30-yard run. Sarasi PAT. Lee, 10-yard run. I'm sorry, the PAT was missed. Sarasi hit the PAT on the second. And the third touchdown, Lee again, 9 yards. The rain is a relatively steady rain going from left to right. The field seems to be in pretty good shape. And Jeff Maldari will be kicking off for the Eagles. Back for Ardsley, looks like number 16, Quincy McQuaid, in the middle. Maldari's kick taken by the up man, falling on top of the play, number 53, Michael Tina.
Yeah, mine's all short. I got an extra bag for someone if you want to put on your head. Thanks.
So Ardsley starts off the second half from the Eagles 34.
At the Eagles 34-yard line.
Over the ball, Jonah Blumstein. The quarterback is Brian Geary. I formation for the Panthers. Second man through, gets the ball, breaks into the open, does number 25, Darrell Hamilton. And it looks like a gain of about six yards. Second down and 4. So Ardsley opening up on the ground. I formation. Flanker out to the right. From the near hash mark, 11 minutes, 14 seconds left in the third quarter. Pass over the middle goes to Cormac McGlynn, complete for the first down, and the tackle made by Doug Sarasi for the Eagles. In on it also Anthony Codio, number 54 for the Eagles.
Again, that quick pass over the middle to the tight end seems to be working because the quarterback got dumped on his rump again, so I guess that's going to continue as far as trying to complete some passes and move downfield.
Eastchester, 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs. In tight again, hands off to the first man through, finds an opening, has one man to beat. He can't beat Sarasi, who takes him down. And
Dickinson, the carrier.
Chris Dickinson, you may have heard our PA announcer, Robert Handel. But a big gain, and that's Ardsley's biggest gain of the day.
It was about a 22-yard run for Ardsley. And now they're setting up in Eagle territory, and we'll see what happens. Time for the Eagle defense to tighten.
And along those lines, the Eagles call time out. The tapes for today's game have been donated by County TV and Appliance on Gramerton Avenue in Mount Vernon and by Greg TV in New Rochelle. So we'd like to thank our good friends and supporters of Eastchester Sports and TV 35, Vinny Vitrini at County and Joe Gambardella at Greg.
You are unbelievable.
Now, Dominic Iannello, who's the first-year head coach of Ardsley, coming from Scarsdale, where Rich Palladino would mix up the run and the pass, is more or less modeling his offense after what he was used to over there at Scarsdale.
But I think you made a very good point before by saying that based upon the fact they're 20 points down, I have a feeling they're going to depend much more on the pass from now on. And besides, the ball is quite slippery, so it's going to be difficult to run out there. The footing is going to be a little tough, so we'll see what happens.
And for Ardsley, they have a first down on the Eagle 24-yard line. Brian Geary barking signals. I formation with a slot back. Geary goes back, and he lost his footing. Finds a receiver. It's good for the first down. The completion, number 36, Cormac McGlynn.
That's that same play right over the middle. He did slip, though, so the footing must be a little rough out there. But he did complete it, so they're moving down the field. Where, what? I can't see the marker, Jerry. Where are they?
10-yard line, right at the 10. Looks like technically they can make a first down without making a touchdown. So just outside the 10, but Ardsley on the move here at the beginning of the third quarter. Here's that pass up the middle again, broken up very nicely by Mark Bernardini, the intended receiver, number 24, Stephen Fusco. The coaching squad for Dominic Iannello consists of his son Nick Iannello, Nick Capuano, Tom Bunderin, John Dean, Ryan Knapp, and Steve Zalewski. And now they have second down and 10 at the 10, at the Eagles 10. Geary goes back. Geary looking for a man. Geary has nobody there. He may run. Geary finds an opening. He's driven out of bounds by Eastchester's number 60, Bobby Hunt. But it's a gain of about, see where they spot the ball, maybe 5 yards. Oh, it's inside the 5. So let's call that 6. Third down and 4. The Eastchester coaching squad: Joe Luciano, Freddie DiCarlo, Phil Bichetti, Waterboys, John DiArco, Mark Palmiano, John Bernardini. The cheerleaders are led by Patty Handel. Brian Geary, I formation, hands off, fakes, and takes it in. Well, he faked me out as he ran around left end, so Ardsley is on the board with a very nice drive.
Yes, it was kind of a bad time. What happened was they were able to drive down the field by mixing up passing and running, and by doing that, they kept the defense off stride.
Extra point attempt by Cormac McGlynn. Holding Steve Fusco. It's blocked by Eastchester. And let's see who is in on that.
54.
54, Codio. Who else? He's in on everything. Anthony Codio. So as we come upfield, the score, Eastchester leads 20-6, 8 minutes, 25 seconds left in the third quarter.
While I have a moment, Jerry, what I'll do is I'll take a little plug. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we will be bringing, or Cable 35 will be bringing you the Blue Devil Pee-wee game at 9 o'clock. It'll be Bill Cade's Pee-wees against the Orangeburg team from Rockland County. We want to thank, by the way, Paul and I want to thank Cable 35 for their support this year in bringing each level of the Blue Devil program on TV. We really appreciate the work of Alan Meltzer and Cable 35 and 36.
Yeah, and talking about our friend Alan Meltzer, he's down there with Chris Russo and Stan Moore at Bronxville in the rain as we are, although the rain seems to have subsided now. I think we can take the umbrellas down. All right.
They got like 5 nice angels too.
And Alan and I will be bringing you on 36, that is, some more Tuckahoe volleyball later this week. But back to football now. Here's the relatively short kickoff taken by, let's see who that was for Eastchester, Mauro Piccinini, and he returned Steve Fusco's kick to relatively good field position, and Eastchester looking to mount a drive. The ball is at the 45-yard line. Now, Augie, does that complete the series of Blue Devil games where you've taken at least one at each level?
That is correct.
And save Billy Cade for last.
That's right. I worked with him last year,
So we saved the best for last.
Elton Lee goes for the first down, 13 yards. Bob Chincamani out there. I got to cut you off to give Bob Chincamani credit for that block.
I want to ask you a question. You were talking about volleyball before. Do you feel that the Olympics and what happened in the Olympics this year has heightened the interest in volleyball? Because I don't know much about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it seems to peak after the Olympics. Eastchester, the Eastchester High School and Tuckahoe High School, of course, they only have girls volleyball as a varsity sport. They do have co-ed volleyball tournaments, which Eastchester has won over the years. But volleyball is real big. Palmiano running wide, and Palmiano goes for the first down. So now Eastchester has geared up after a slow start and being on defense most of the third quarter so far. 7 minutes, 23 seconds left in the third quarter. Eastchester 20, Ardsley 6. You're watching TV 35. The rain has stopped for the most part. Another first down for the Eagles. 2 first downs on 2 nice runs. Coming into the game, Elton Lee had 453 yards on 79 carries, 5.7 yards per carry, as did Palmiano. That's the same average, that is. Palmiano, fewer carries for fewer yards. And here's Elton Lee. This time he only gains about 3 yards. And coming up very quickly is Cormac McGuinn, number 36, from the strong safety position.
As we have a hiatus here, I went downstairs at halftime and I thought very seriously about who's going to win the World Series. So I'm waiting for you to ask me that question.
Oh, that's right. You're late in your answer.
That's right.
Okay, who is it?
I'm going to go really out on a limb. Since the last 2 games will be in Atlanta, I think Atlanta's going to pull it out.
Okay, you heard it here.
That's right. Like I know something.
Okay, at the Pleasantville game, we'll see how good you are. Here's Elton Lee. Look at him cutting through that block, and the blocking is outstanding there. Oh, what a beautiful block by Nick Dentato, number 58. And Elton Lee stays so close to that blocker, and then as soon as there's that opening, is able to fly right off. Fantastic. Anthony Asola comes back into the game, as does Greg Spana. Coming out, number 58, Nick Dentato, number 54, Anthony Codio. And I think what's even just as amazing is Diarco keeps substituting, and whoever is in there knows the fundamentals, does what he has to do. Montesano over the ball, first down for the Eagles. Here's a handoff to Palmiano. Palmiano cuts back and finds the opening. Eastchester cutting back on almost every play. Tackle on a play made by number 77, David Javer, one of the tri-captains. And Elton Lee comes back into the game. Doug Sarasi comes out, as does Will Ackerson. And Ardsley takes timeout. 5 minutes, 39 seconds left in the third quarter. The Eagles are ahead 20-6, and they are driving.
It looks like that the Eagle defense, or the Eagle team rather, got a little bit annoyed that they allowed that score, so they're coming back with a vengeance, and they're doing an excellent job moving the ball.
Well, we would like to congratulate Dom Ciceri, the baseball coach and athletic director here. He was named by the National Baseball Coaches Association District 1 Coach of the Year, and he is one of 8 high school coaches honored nationally. And the National Coach of the Year honors will be announced on November 28th, but one of 8 coaches, 8 high school baseball coaches in the entire country. Congratulations to Dom Ciceri. And the rain starts again. Second down, 1 to go.
And here comes the rain.
Montesano over the ball. Hands off to Elton Lee. Palmiano out in front of him. This time he doesn't get it. and he's brought down by number 84, Kassan Brown, and number 62, Angelo Morano. Well, we thought we were going to do it without getting rained on, but that's not the case. It's not stopping the cheerleaders. And you can hear them right down below us on TV 35. And TV 35 will go indoors to bring you cheerleading, the kickoff competition, November the 8th. Laura Liscio and I will bring it to you. Handoff to Palmiano. Palmiano following his line. Looks like a penalty. Penalty flag is down. Tackle on the play made by Jonah Blumstein.
I'd like to congratulate Don Cesari, who's the National Baseball Coaches Association District 1 Coach of the Year.
And Robert Handel, our PA announcer, is reading the same announcement as we made earlier.
24 Eagles to Section 1 Class B title. He was one of 8 high school coaches honored eligible for National Coach of the Year honors on November 28th.
And do you know that Dom Cesari has over 400 wins in baseball? You know, talking about coaching, basketball is going to be real exciting here in Eastchester because Marshall Reef has come to Tuckahoe and Steve Post is coaching Bronxville. Steve Post, who has won a state championship with Adlai Stevenson High School in the city, will be coaching Bronxville. Marshall Reef from Mount Vernon fame, and it'll be real exciting. Palmiano fumbles, and Ardsley recovers the fumble.
And Ardsley will recover.
Well, that ball was stripped out of Palmiano's grasp. One of the Ardsley defenders, and I couldn't see exactly who it was, grabbed his arm as he was coming down. And Ardsley has taken over, stopping the Eagle drive on the 14-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter. The Eagles have a 20-6 lead.
We just hope that they might have stopped the drive. We just hope they didn't stop the momentum. That's key. Hope the momentum will still be in Eastchester's favor.
Eastchester had continue in a second. A nice run by Chris Dickinson, the fullback. And that will be close to a first down. And it will be a first down for Ardsley. Eastchester came out and scored the first 20 points of the game. They're heavily favored. They're ardsley Ardsley has not won a game, and it's very easy to slow down and for the momentum to just drain out. But Ardsley is only down by 14 points, and they have the ball. Brian Geary, the quarterback, and a handoff. Looks like Dickinson again. No, it's not Dickinson, and a little rough stuff afterwards. The ball was carried by number 25, I believe. Well, I can't find 25 here.
Jerry, it looks like unsportsmanlike conduct was the call, but let's wait to see the official call on it.
Okay, it was Darrell Hamilton, the ball carrier. You'll have to forgive me, folks, but our scorecard is wet. And had it not been for this nice shield by the Blue Devils, we wouldn't be able to see anything here. So the personal foul sets back Ardsley and brings the ball back to the 14-yard line where it's second down and 20 yards to go. Brian Geary, he has a flanker to the right. Pitches out.
37.
Cut back. And a run by number 37. Oh, I'm really suffering here on these Do we have 37? Okay, well, that time we have an excuse, Augie. We don't have 37 on our roster. And anyhow, the run is up to the 24-yard line of the Eagles. And no, to about the 20-yard line. Timeout, Ardsley. This will give us a chance to catch our breath, study some of the numbers, but where we stand, 2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the third quarter. Ardsley has the ball on their own 21-yard line, third down, and about 13 to go. You're watching TV 35, Eastchester Government Access Television, here in the rain from the Jarvis Bowl. Jerry Fishoff and Augie Lanzetta bringing you the action. Next week, we will be here, hopefully under drier skies, to bring you Pleasantville against the Eagles. Pleasantville has the day off today. They will come into the game with a 4-1 record and a relatively stingy defense. In 5 games, they have only given up 42 points, so that's barely 8 points a game. Pleasantville, coached by Dick Rote, who's down below us, scouting, taking copious notes, along with most of the players from the Pleasantville squad.
Eagles go! Go! Eagles go!
Tuckahoe and Bronxville playing today. That game will be seen on TV 36, Tuckahoe Educational Access Television, and Tuckahoe, I believe, is off next week. And the big game, of course, will be here at the Jarvis Bowl, November 14th. It's homecoming, and it's the Rose Festival. So we remind all you fans out there to buy your roses from the Eastchester Sports Club. $10 for a dozen. Here's a run around the outside by Dickinson. I'm sorry, not Dickinson, Darrell Hamilton, which will bring up a punt situation as the drive falls short of the first down. And from the 24-yard line of the Eagles, they will be forced to punt. John Petone and Elton Lee back for the Eagles. And the short man is Maldari. Doing the punting will be number 36, most likely. It is Cormac McGlynn. McGlynn's kick off the side of his foot goes out of bounds between the 40 of Ardsley and the 50-yard line. Good field position for the Eagles with under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. The Eagles lead 20-6.
I think that last drive was key. The fact that the Eastchester defense stopped Ardsley, it gives Eastchester a good opportunity to go into the fourth quarter and maintain their lead, and that's very important. And also to get the momentum back, which is very key.
Ardsley hurt by that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So the Eagles have the ball, 1st and 10 as we resume action. Montesano over the ball, hands it to the second man back. It's Palmiato. Palmiato cracks through, and he's taken down on the play by number 64, Richard Popovich, the defensive tackle.
There's a flag on the play, Jerry. No. We'll see what it is. I haven't seen any preliminary indication yet.
Looks like it's going to go against the Eagles. Referee Mike Davey talking to Casey, the Ardsley captain, and it will go the Eagles' way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holding, probably, but let's see what the call is. It is holding. 1 minute, 51 seconds left in the third quarter. Eagles nursing a 20-6 lead, and now they are back in their own territory, so it will be 1st down and 20 to go. Piccinini and Elton Lee, the split backs. And offside on the play, Bobby Hunt. Well, Bobby Hunt has allowed one mistake a year. Bobby Hunt has been absolutely outstanding in everything he's done.
He's just over anxious, Jerry, that's all.
Yeah, somebody up here in the booth, we started chuckling, said he just wanted to go home, so he wanted to get it over with a little fast. It is raining and kind of nasty out here.
Like that big, like that fat. Sick. Someone looked like a snakehead, but uniform, like tight, you know? It's really cool. Eats goldfish and stuff.
1st and 25. Montesano hands off to Elton Lee, and he is collared on a beautiful tackle They're looking for a face mask against big number 58. They didn't get it. That was Lamar Williams.
Clothesline.
And I think people could probably hear the rain coming down against the umbrella. The sound effects, we have that too. Cheerleaders still going strong. Eastchester. 20 yards to go. Montesano goes back, hands off to Lee. Lee finds the opening. Lee with it. Lee bounces off some tacklers, and it takes 4 guys to bring down Elton Lee.
Every one of those tacklers grabbed him up high, and all he did was carry him for 10 yards. Excellent run by Elton Lee.
3rd down, and let's call that 4, short 4, long 3. Excellent run by Elton Lee, 17 yards, right up the middle. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Eastchester 20, Ardsley 6. So the only scoring in this 3rd quarter was on a 4-yard run by quarterback Brian Geary. The kick failing, and Eastchester holds on to a 20-6 lead. TV 35 bringing you all of this wet action today.
As I said in the beginning of the game, Jerry, I feel like I'm a jinx. The last 3 times I've done a game, it's poured rain. So maybe you ought to get somebody else for next week.
No, Augie will be here. We'll have good weather. The fans are enjoying it. The crowd very sparse here for 2 reasons. 1, the big game in town is not here. It's at Bronxville. Tuckahoe, Bronxville, both undefeated. And I'm looking forward to seeing that game myself. Chris Risso, Stan Moore, Alan Meltzer, bringing our viewing audience that game on TV 36. And in a joint cable cast November 14th, we'll be here with them, Tuckahoe and Eastchester. Second reason, it's raining. Small crowd. Eastchester, Elton Lee cuts through. Elton Lee goes for the 1st down. Was that a loose ball or what?
Yeah, he lost the ball. Everybody's pointing in different directions.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I told you, get me in trouble.
I did not see the ball pop out of Lee's hands, but Eastchester does retain possession and the 1st down.
Yeah, that was a little bit complicated. There were so many bodies around, I couldn't see what was going on. But it's good that Eastchester retains possession, and there'll be what 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line.
Piccinini comes out of the lineup. Ackerson split left. Pro set, handoff to Elton Lee. Has Dentato in front of him. Lee cuts around the outside, and he is dragged down furiously by number 86, David Kaufman, the cornerback. So it took a cornerback to come all the way up, but he was really dragged down. But a penalty on the play, illegal motion. So 5 yards against the Eagles. So the down will still be the 1st down, still be 1st. 15 yards to go, 11 minutes left in the game. Augie Lanzetta predicted the Braves will come back from a 3-2 deficit, use that home field advantage.
But then again, Jerry, what do I know? I'm a Giant fan.
A Giant football, a Giant baseball.
Giant football fan.
Oh, well. Well, I'm a Jet fan, so that's why we're having so much fun with high school football this year. Okay, tomorrow's game, the Eastchester Blue Devils on the Blue Devil Network with Paul Votano and my colleague Augie Lanzetta, pro set. Handoff to the first man through. Palmiato doesn't get through, and he's taken down by number 62, Angelo Morano, the nose tackle. So far, the game has been injury-free, and we like to see that, even though the field is now getting wet. I think on the grass part of the field, the footing is pretty good, but we saw at least once a slip by quarterback Brian Geary of Ardsley on the mud part or the non-grass part of the field. Second down for the Eagles. Hand off to Elton Lee. Elton Lee finds the hole. Elton Lee going toward the end zone. The 5, 4. He's over. Elton Lee, another touchdown. Oh, boy, oh, boy. He does it over and over again. A thrill to watch, Augie.
There is a flag on the play, but I think it was thrown after the touchdown. We'll see. And there's 2 flags.
Yeah!
All right.
Good. Well, here we go again. We'll sort this out, but we have some experts up in the booth with us. The touchdown is good on Elton Lee's run of, how many yards was that? Somebody record that? About 30?
39? No, it was about 39.
39, 36. We'll call it
38 yards. It was 38.
We're going to call it 38. Okay, Lee goes for 38 yards. And let's see what happens here. We've got to sort this one out.
That's the 50 extra point. I thought they'd do it on the kickoff.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Well, if you think you don't understand, folks, neither do we. It looks like they're assessing the penalty on the extra point. Is that normal? No, I don't think so. So we'll see what happens.
Refs don't know what they're doing.
Okay, there's a big conference. Augie?
It's normally assessed for kickoff, isn't it? As opposed to the extra point. So that's what they're conferring about now.
And we never did find out what the other flag was for, but that may have been against Ardsley and declined. Well, this is interesting. Folks, you may be watching it first. The touchdown was good, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the touchdown.
The touchdown was good. Montesano coming back in the game. Codio comes out. Well, just when you think you've seen it all. Must be the extra point because the yard markers are down. Montesano. It's complete to Robert Chincamani, but it's not taken into the end zone, so the score remains 26-6. I'm not sure I've ever seen something assessed on the extra point when it was not part of the extra point attempt. When they're ready to do the extra point and there's a penalty and it's good, then the team takes the penalty and can push them back. So we'll try to get an explanation, and we'll try to have it for you next week. That's our assignment, right, Augie?
That's right.
Meantime, Eastchester looking good. Kind of a sloppy game. The flow has been off and on. Penalties have interfered with the flow of the game. Eastchester jumping off to an early lead. Lost some of the momentum, but their defense is tough and their offensive line doing an outstanding job once again. The special teams out on the field: Joe Fiorello, Ian Crowley, number 48, number 93, Billy Vogt, 51, Joe Sicaranza,
John
Aiello 74, the rain's coming again, Patone, he's in on everything, and Maldari kicking off, relatively deep for him, taken on the 25-yard line, taken by Hamilton, is it? And Ardsley will put the ball in play on the 30... I was about to say 39, they moved to the 38, and as I start to say 8, they moved to 37, so we'll call it the 37-yard line. Mr. Flood, Mr. Avella, and Mr. Z. One flanker out to the right, Frank Pecora. Wide receiver, I formation, Brian Geary goes back, hands off to the first man back. He gets nowhere. There was absolutely no line play by Ardsley. They just stood there. Either that or Eastchester is better than that.
I don't think they're going to accomplish much by calling those kinds of plays either. They need points and they need them quickly. So I think they would better off be putting the ball in the air if they hope to win this game.
And they're down 20 points. So looks like Eastchester about to put the wrapping on this one. The Rose Festival on homecoming day right here at the Jarvis Bowl. A dozen roses, $10. Members of the sports club are selling them. Hand off by Brian Geary to the second man through. It's Hamilton. Hamilton gets hit by Bobby Hunt. Boy, you heard that pop from Bobby Hunt.
The number 54 on Eastchester, Codio, was blitzing on that play, and he just plugged that hole. There was nothing for that running back to do. There was nowhere for him to go.
Can you imagine that? Codio coming through you, so instead you run and you get popped by Hunt. There's a flag on the play. A dead ball foul against Ardsley. So Ardsley is hurting themselves as well.
Penalties being assessed against Ardsley. We're waiting for the referee's call on it. That's number 66, Charlie Lanzalato, going into the game.
You want to put this over at least? We have a piece of paper here. Let's do something.
I'm not sure what's wetter, my pants or the camera. Our monitor was jumping like crazy. I only hope this tape survives. Brian Geary, I formation, has a man out wide to the right, has some time, throws one into the middle, incomplete, intended for number 87. Well, maybe not. I can't seem to find 87 anymore on the score sheet. Good defense by Eastchester. Passing the wideout was Frank Pecora. So it's fourth down once again, so the Eastchester defense has held. The Eastchester defense, which has only given up 41 points in 4 games. And by the way, the 14 points that they gave up to Pelham last game, the game was salted away. Looks like it may have been partially blocked.
That was number 46, I think. Fiorello, was it?
Fiorello again?
Yep.
Fiorello in on it again, along with number 28, Frank McPhail. McPhail may have had his finger on that one. And there's a name we haven't called too much, but the special teams are outstanding.
I think in football, one of the key things is to make sure that your special teams place the ball or position the ball so your offense or your defense, when they take over, can do the job. And that's why Eastchester's been successful this year, because of their special teams.
Piccinini in the backfield. Bernardini in motion. Handoff goes to Patone. Patone finds a hole. Patone breaks away from the tackle, and Patone goes down to close to a first down. John Patone, who scored 2 touchdowns in the last game and 2 touchdowns the game before. So Patone, kind of the same type of back as Lee and Palmiato. Patone, 5'10", 175 pounds, very quick, finds the opening, follows his blockers.
Coach DiArco is taking this opportunity to get some of his, second-line players in. If you notice, I think Anthony Spada just went in the game, number 44. He's got several players in there now that normally don't start, so he's giving them an opportunity to play, which is good.
And Doug Sarasi is in the backfield as well, number 42. And the measurement all the way over on this side. certainly is not pleasant weather. The day started out beautifully. It's not that we were unaware, because the weather forecast called for rain, and that's why all these umbrellas are here.
I just want to make a comment, Jerry, on Coach DiArco. He has done a great job this year as usual, but he gives a tremendous amount of credit to his offensive line. Normally in football, the backs and the quarterback get all the credit, but in this particular instance, he makes sure that his linemen get a lion's share of the credit, which they do deserve.
People like Rob Cincamani, the tight end, Nick Dentato, the left guard, Bobby Hunt, the right guard, Anthony Isola, the left tackle, the center, of course, John DiNardo, and Greg Skolaski, the right tackle on offense, and there they are. Handoff to Patone. And taken down on the play by 2 or 3 tacklers, led by Lamar Williams, number 58, in white for Ardsley. Ian Crowley, number 48, comes into the game now. Ian is a senior now, and of course Ian plays on the hockey team, which reminds us that we will be presenting many hockey games over the course of the season from Rye Playland. But right now it's football time. Pro set. Sarasi in motion. Montesano barks the signals, hands it off to Piccinini. Piccinini goes for about 3 yards, taken down, and there is a flag on the play. Augie, I've not seen so many flags, especially after the play, in a long time.
One of the worst things, it does stop the clock, which means we get wetter.
Yeah. Well, this Lanzetti, he's doing well. We're going to get him a spot on the comedy club and at midnight on cable. It's a pleasure to do the game with you, Augie. And you and I will be here again next week, Pleasantville, and they will not be as easy. So the Eagles will have a lot of homework to do. So far, Montesano is still in there. We haven't seen Maldari come in. I think maybe another set of downs, or maybe another score, or change of possession, and we will see Jeff Maldari get some experience. Jeff does handle the ball very nicely. Okay, the Eagles. Wide receivers to both sides, hands off to Piccinini. Piccinini meets a crowd, gains about 2 yards. Now, what Piccinini gained on that one was what the line gave him.
That's correct. There was nothing there, and they just pushed the defensive line of Ardsley right off the ball. They've done that all day, and actually they've done it all season, because I think they've averaged something like 240 or 250 yards per game, which is quite exceptional.
Piccinini comes out. Eastchester line. Breaks. Montesano barking the signals. Fiorello in motion. Handoff to Patone. Patone follows the line and gains about 6-7 yards.
That's not even a hole. That's just a line surge. He just follows the line, and that's it. There was no hole there. He just kept following behind them, and that's how he gained 6 yards.
And if it weren't so wet and muddy, it would be 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
And a hardy Hi-O Silva.
Okay, you saw Joey Fiorello in the game, the sophomore halfback, who has been outstanding today on the special teams. I formation. Billy Vogt split out to the right. Handoff goes to Patone. Patone breaks a tackle. Patone may have a clear shot to the end zone. One man to beat. Patone walks down a tightrope, and he's called for stepping out of bounds. He did. That was a good call. A very good call. Sam DiGiovanni right on the line.
Another penalty after the play, Jerry. So I think it's against Eastchester.
Well, Anthony Codio was there joining with Sam DiGiovanni. Another unsportsmanlike conduct. And Codio, while he's a senior, a captain, a leader, has to also know when to back off. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Codio who was called. Ah, okay. It may have been. I apologize to, oh boy. I hate doing this. Anthony Codio, and he's so much bigger than I am. Anthony, I apologize. It may have been against one of the other players.
You can blame it on me, Jerry. He doesn't know me.
He will after this game. Again, we'd like to thank Athletic Director Dom Ciceri for helping us with the arrangements here, setting up when it was bright and nice early in the morning. Patone follows, and there's another flag on the play as Patone heads into the end zone. And maybe a clip or something against Eastchester.
Hold against Eastchester. Hold against Eastchester. That's a preliminary call.
Well, this game now is as sloppy as the weather.
That's a very accurate assessment of the game, Jerry.
We'd like to thank our crew here today. Henry Lee, Alvar Lee, formerly a star with the same Eastchester Eagle team.
What is there about?
Don Sarasi helping us out here in the booth. I wish this were a booth, because in booths you don't get wet. And we have a stand and a few tables, a lot of rain. Robert Handel on the PA has his microphone buried under his shirt so he doesn't get wet or electrocuted either. I noticed you stopped calling the names, Rob, of the players because you can't see your scorecard anymore.
Everything is all messed up here now. Everything's soaked.
Okay. Pro set, here's Patone again. They're determined to get Patone the opportunity to score a touchdown, and Patone is brought down. Okay, fellas, let's get right back to the line. Cormac McGlynn, who's played an excellent game, by the way, for Ardsley on the tackle.
Your sheet's running too.
Mauro Piccinini coming in, and a timeout is called by Ardsley as Coach Dominic Iannello comes out to the field. Well, 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. This gives us an opportunity to tell you what's upcoming on TV 35 and TV 36. Of course, on TV 36, currently they're taping the Bronxville-Tuckahoe game. And our friends Chris Russo and Stan Moore will continue to bring us the Tuckahoe football games throughout the season, culminating, of course, in the regular season with the big game here against Eastchester. And boy, it would really be something if both teams are undefeated until then.
Will they be doing the game for 36 and you'd be doing the game for 35? Is that what's going to work? Or?
Well, something like that. We'll have one setup and we'll show the tape on both stations. And although it's often difficult for me to get a word in with Stan Moore and Chris Russo, they say the same thing about me and Botano and Enzio.
But it's not true, Jerry. It's not true.
No, of course not. So we have a second down and 27 to go. Montesano still barking signals. Hand off to Piccinini. Driven out of bounds. And it will be a third down for the Eagles. Number 44, Anthony Spada in the game.
Piccinini carried that?
Piccinini carried that one. And some more rough stuff, some more jawing. And Augie, there doesn't need to be this much arguing, this many dead ball fouls. The game is easily salted away.
That's correct. At this point, they should just get it over with and continue to play the rest of the game, and hopefully the clock run out. They've got it sewed up. You're absolutely correct.
Guess what? The rain has stopped. As Augie puts his umbrella down, I need to warn him, don't let it go too far away.
Don't put it away.
Don't put it away. 4 minutes, 37 seconds left. And another penalty against the Eagles. This sure is sloppy. Montesano getting the play from the sideline from Freddie DiCarlo.
overheard one of the coaches from Eastchester tell his young men to stifle themselves. So I guess at this point they will. He's a pretty big fella, so I think that they're going to stifle themselves.
Yeah, I think that's Phil Bichetti. Billy Vogt calls timeout because Eastchester was about to be guilty of delay of game, either that or too many men on the field. 3 minutes, 59 seconds, so maybe that is the start of the, maybe that is the 4-minute warning. Somebody yelled out 3:59. Our clock shows 4:37, which is not official. And this has been a strange one.
I have to tell you, it's been fun and it's been interesting, and it's certainly not boring. So I'm enjoying it.
Hold it. It's been real crazy.
Got it, Chair?
Yeah. I can't get it with the... Anybody have fingers to get this?
Should I talk? As play resumes, our announcer is changing the tape in the camera, but Montesano back to pass. That ball is intended and caught by number 83 of the Eagles. That's Billy Voigt. Folks, we just changed our tape. That was John Patone carrying the ball for Eastchester. And that brings it down to the 8-yard line. And I'll turn the mic back over to my able partner, Jerry Fisher.
Oh, thanks, Augie Lanzetta. Hope I didn't miss too much. We thought we had enough tape. We would have had enough tape had it not been for all these extracurricular activities, nonetheless. And we do want to thank the people who donated the tape, Vinny Vitrini of County Appliance in Mount Vernon, and Joe Gambardella of Greg TV in New Rochelle. And Montesano flips one over to Doug Sarasi, completion for Sarasi. And now Ardsley will take over on downs with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the game. Well, here is a scoring summary brought to you by TV 35. Mike Palmiato scored first for the Eagles early in the fourth quarter on a 30-yard run, capping a 47-yard drive. Elton Lee scored on a 10-yard run and then a 9-yard run, and Doug Sarasi contributed 2 extra points. Coming through looks like number 22, Chris Dickinson.
Number 22, Chris Dickinson.
The half ended with the score 20-0 Eastchester. Brian Geary, the quarterback, carried himself for what has amounted to so far Ardsley's lone score. The PAT attempt was blocked, and the score was 20-6. Elton Lee scored on a 38-yard run, and some strange happenings did not enable Eastchester to make the PAT, as number 25, Darrell Hamilton, taken down, but another flag on the play. It's holding this time, and this quarter might be close to setting the record. We'll have to ask our fans out there whether they know if Eastchester ever had a quarter where there were so many penalties assessed against them.
I mean, we're going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records, you and I, for the longest time in a quarter in Eastchester?
Well, it certainly could be. we are looking for the answer. Most points scored by the Eagles in a game. And we know that it was not 42 points against Pelham last week. We have learned that Eastchester 10 years ago scored 55 points against Pelham as the ball comes back deeper in Ardsley territory. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Boy, this last 5 minutes is taking a long time.
What was that trivia question that you folks talked about in the Pelham game? Was that who won the most valuable player in the Colonial Bowl, father and son?
Yes. Okay, we're told by the timekeeper up here that he was not advised officially when the fourth 4-minute warning was, so we see 1:40 on the clock, but we're not sure what it is. And with all the stoppages of play, of course, for all the penalties, it could be we could be close to the end of the game. So, friends, if we say that's it, we're not we're not going crazy. The answer to that question, father and son winners of the Colonial Cup. Do you know it?
Yes, Mike Morgan, Sr., and his son Mickey, who plays for Iona.
Brian Geary goes back to throw a bomb, gets it all the way up in the air, and it is intercepted by Sarasi. Dougie Sarasi with an interception, and give an assist on that one to Joey Fiorello. Joey Fiorello tipped it, and that is the end of the game, capped off by a very delightful defensive play by the after-point kicker, Doug Sarasi, and that brings the game to a close. The final score, Eastchester 26 and Ardsley 6.
Jerry, thank you very much for allowing me to be here. I really enjoyed working with you. It's been a lot of fun. And I look forward to next week. Congratulations to Coach DiArco and his staff. That's 5-0, and hopefully they'll go undefeated the rest of the season. And we'll look forward to the next 3 games. Take care.
Augie Lanzetta will be with me. Here we are. Here, Augie, and here I am, Jerry Fishoff. Yeah, we managed to survive. And we'd like to thank our crew, Henry Lee, Alvar Lee, Don Sarasi, and the staff here at Eastchester High School. Once again, the final score, Eastchester 26, Ardsley 6. Please join us next week for the game right here from the Jarvis Bowl. Pleasantville comes to visit Eastchester. For TV 35, thank you for joining us.